lucky spin is back, and it's time to spin for Bertrand, because let me tell you, my mages put in work in this season. We actually just took the dragon. So stick around in this video for my thoughts behind why it is that I am now all in on Bertrand and Tohar, and also we'll see how lucky I get spinning the wheel. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and today's video is sponsored by the makers of Call of Dragons. And let me tell you, I was pretty lukewarm, in case it wasn't clear, about Bertrand and Tohar. But what I found is that when I got down bad for troops, I mean, I was resource healing the maximum amount I could every single day, day after day. I blasted through like 1 billion mana, okay? 1 billion mana. My resource healing is 1.6 million per day. All right. And there is a cap of 3 million healing. This, by the way, is letting me store multiple days worth of healing. It's kind of a season policies thing. I won't get into it. The point that I'm trying to make here is that when I was down bad for troops, I was using mages. And the reason is that they're easy to control. You can use them at max range. And unlike your marksmen, which kind of step forward, get out of position all the time, the long war is more about mages in my experience so far, mages and infantry, than it is about marksmen. Not that marksmen aren't good. It's just that I think marksmen do better when there is more infantry on the field. And when everybody's down bad for troops, there's just not as much of everything anymore. It's mostly just, again, mages shooting at a distance. So Bertrand is the pick here, despite the fact that I would say my Bertrand and Tohar combo did about 3/5 the merits of my Lily and Velen. I mean, Lily and Velen just slaps, man. Continues to be amazing. That said, I'm going to pick up the entire Change of Fortune bundle. I'm doing this using dragon tickets. I've covered this in a separate video. I'll put a card in the end screen for the Pluto Mall, where you can go in, you can buy these not goblin market vouchers, these dragon tickets, okay? And you exchange dragon tickets for bundles at an exact exchange rate. There's a $20 ticket for a $20 bundle, all right? The reason that you would do that on the Pluto Mall is that when you buy these tickets, often there are bundles you can get that give you 10% or so extra tickets on top of what you would have gotten if you just were buying the bundles outright. So, for example, I think if you buy a $100 ticket, you also get a $10 ticket, okay? So that's like $10 of extra value just for going to the Pluto Mall. I'll have a card in the end screen for that one, all right? Now, we're going to spin for Bertrand. I covered in my prior wheel video that, hey, I'm going to go for Ferondil because I wasn't all that excited about Bertrand and Tohar. And then they announced a Tohar buff, and the Tohar buff was pretty legit. Now, I happen to have the majority of these heroes awakened, and I already covered this in my prior video. What I'll simply say is that I think the newest generation of heroes tend to be better, much, much better. I'll say that I did not use Madeline almost at all this season, which was really, really tragic. She was my #1 bench warmer, her and Garwood, all right? So wouldn't recommend that either. Goresh and Skogul, friggin' slap, baby. But Bertrand is who we're working on today between the two of these heroes. So let's get after it, shall we? Here we go. The wheel for Bertrand. Oh, one last thing. How many of his tokens do I have sitting around? I do have him leveled up. Here he is. We look at his skills. I have 0 tokens sitting around. Cool. Okay, good. Well, we'll see how many skills I get on him. I would expect like 135 tokens if I'm having a pretty good spin here, because I am going to do a full 200 spins. So here we go, baby. There's a token and a universal. All right, cool. I've got the skip animation thing running at this point because, like, I don't know, man. I've done a lot of spins in my time. I don't need to see the wheel spin around. There's one Bertrand, one G2. Let's go. The only thing weird about spinning the wheel toward the end of the generation 2 of heroes is that, like, okay, so we know we're getting Gen 3 soonish. So these universal G2s, like, yeah, there's only going to be so many places I can continue to use those. There they are, more G2s. Now, look, you can use a G2, I believe, on any of the prior generation of heroes. There's the full Bertrand. I think I have done a bunch of pulls at this point, though. Yeah, we're at 165 total pulls remaining here. 3 more Bertrand tokens. Let's freaking go. 3 more Bertrand tokens. Let's go. Come on, baby. Okay. Dead pull. I mean, I say it's a dead pull, but like I resourced healed about 1 billion mana, which means I probably did like 2 billion wood, 2 billion gold, and like at least 1 billion stone as well. Like it was a lot of resources. It actually probably did more resources, quite frankly. And that's what the policies in season T1 that have really dramatically reduced resource healing cost, which is healing is just expensive resource-wise in this game. And I mean, I get that there's no speed up cost, so maybe that's where that comes from, right? There's 3 Bertrand tokens. That's pretty good. All the tiered rewards are accumulated, by the way, which is kind of nice. We'll also rack those up toward our grand total of Bertrand tokens here. There's 2 more tokens, poggers. Let's freaking go. Come on, baby. Even the legendary medals are really good, although I am finding that once you max Indus, you can do a bunch of refreshes in the expedition shop. Oh my god. Look at that spin. Speed up central, man. And you can get a bunch of gold stars. On the topic of that, let's spend all those gemmies. Firm. There's 100 more tickets, and let's get after it. Full pull. Boom, baby. Let's go. I'm feeling like I'm going to get a bunch of good Bertrand tokens. So anyways, like I was saying, Bertrand and Tohar, technically I ran it the other way around. Tohar and Bertrand were a solid second place mage march for me. So when I was like really down bad for troops, I would just use Lily Velen. But for the most part, I could heal enough that I would sustain 2 mage marches at a time. And like, I'll be honest with you, in my perfect world, I really feel like the end game for this game in an ideal world would be 5 mage marches at a time or 5 archer marches at a time. There's your boy Bertrand. Now, funny enough, I don't feel that way. Ooh, whoa. I'm getting some pulls up in here. Didn't I just get a full Bertrand and there's 2 more? Hey, yo. We are crushing these pulls right now. Oh, wow. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that I would want 5 infantry marches at a time, weirdly enough. I just don't feel like that does what you want. Like, you want your infantry to be very spread out, I feel. So mages, you want 5. Marksmen, you want 5. Would I say that you want 5 cavalry at a time? Probably not even. Like, certain marches feel more like I want to control 1 at a time, or I'm controlling a group of 4 mages and like 1 infantry would be maybe the ideal way to run it, or 4 marksmen and 1 infantry might be an ideal way to run it. But there's just a lot of micro, the more unit types that you're ultimately bringing into the field. And I find that I just trade way better the fewer troop types I'm bringing. Hey, yo! Let's freaking go. 14 tokens in a single pull. That's big poggers right there, baby. Then the final pull, G2 hero token. Good. We go in here. We clean this up. 5 tokens, 5 unis, then 10 tokens, 10 unis, and that's universals, by the way. Boom. 15 Bertrand tokens. Now, if you're hunting value, spin to 10. Spin to 10, get the 5 tokens. GG easy. All right. So from here, we see how we did. Your boy Bert is 145. Sheesh. Okay, we did really well there. We did really, really well. This is the last skill that I've upgraded or plan to upgrade. Blue Blood. While in the field, your legion gains attack and defense if they have not taken a normal attack. Maybe this skill is better than I gave it credit for, but we drop a little upgrade into there. Very tempting to put another 5 tokens in, but I don't really need to right now. And I do need something to spend 2 weeks from now. Theoretically, that could be Ferrando. All right. But I think I'd chill for now. And if we get into some fighting, maybe I'll go and put them in there. But once I max him out, I gain 200 damage factor on the active skill, which is like nice. But compared to other awakenings, it's not insane. Which is like good news, bad news, right? Like the good news is that Bertrand, even without his expertise or awakening, is doing a lot of what he's supposed to be doing. The bad news is that he doesn't gain much compared to, for example, Nico freaking slaps when he's awakened. When you launch a normal attack against a target that has a defense break, they have an 80% chance to deal 200 damage factor. Bro, when you use Nico and Kanara together, dude, this awakening is transformative. You see what I mean? In a 10-second window, you might get an easy 800 extra damage factor, maybe more. You see? Like, this represents a massive damage factor boost on the Nico Kanara combo. Or even if you just are using a Nico in your ball and you're using a Kanara in your ball and they're both hitting the same thing because they both are inflicting defense breaks. Meanwhile, your boy Birdie over here, you're just getting 200 extra damage factor. You see what I'm saying? So like, good news, bad news is that Bertrand doesn't scale up very much with the Awakening. So the good news is if you don't have him maxed, you're not missing a ton. The bad news is that, like, unfortunately, once you do get a max, you only gain a little, right? The pros and cons of it. But there you go. We've got our Lily Velen ready to rock, and Bertrand's in progress, all right? Now, for those of you wondering kind of where my pets are at, I did move all in on my pets before our big fight against the folks that betrayed us in the prior season. And this pet obviously did work. It hits 3 targets. I have the break point for the double split on Pain Bloom. Woo! So good. So we were hitting 3 targets, doing big damage, chance to fire it off all over again. Big crits, extra damage. Hey, yo, this pet did really well for me. But this video is not about my pets. My coming videos are going to be about the fights that we had, and I'll probably cover the pets a little bit more in depth. So if that's something that you're interested in, consider smashing that subscribe button. If I zoom out to show you the map at this point, you probably saw in a prior video that we were taking down the final forts for the folks we were battling against this season. Big shout out to the folks we were fighting against for a really great fight this season. I suspect it's not over. I mean, there's like at least another 30 days till the season ends probably. Maybe longer, that we're all on this map together. So I'm feeling pretty confident there will be more fighting. And there's already a lot of fighting going on in Hollandale. We just don't have access to that zone at all from the shell that we're in. So without saying anything about what comes next, I'll simply say that there's probably more fighting to be had here. Now, Dragon, we have an agreement with our allies. We let them get first capture. And I think in the elite raid, I don't know what the split is of spots, but I think there's like a reality that you're going to need a lot of T5s, and like I don't know that they can bring those. So we probably end up getting more of the border slots just because of the necessity to crank out the DPS to actually take it down. But I don't actually know what I'm talking about for this one. So I'm not going to say things that I don't know, because I don't actually know at all what I'm talking about when it comes to how that split is going. All right. Anyways, if you enjoyed the vid, throw a like on here, consider subscribing to the channel. If I'm not mistaken, by the way, we did take a 50-50 split with our allies of the end of season rewards. I don't know what the final thing is going to be. Again, I'm like very out of touch with what those realities are, but like last season we did a 50-50 split. This season we also said, hey, we'll do a 50-50 split. So that's the game plan with our allies in RKO. All right. If you enjoyed the vid, again, throw that like on here, subscribe to the channel. I am still catching up on sleep from all the fighting, but in the coming days, I've got a video that I'll do about the past fighting and all the rallies we did. I'll probably do a video about when we pushed the spires. I mean, look, but if you want an overview of the war that we just had, part will be in the end screen. Definitely check it out if you missed that video. Until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.